Every car has an issue, no car is perfect, so today we are going to look at this Dodge Durango 2000 with the 4.7 liter V8. Now, if you're having issues where it's idling funny or even you have weak acceleration, it could be the throttle positioning sensor that it's right here, right next to the throttle bottle. It's this gray little sensor right here. It's really easy to take out. It's 2 screws and then the little plug. Usually, if you're experiencing that issue, usually it's a throttle body position sensor. You can find one at a junkyard, maybe buy another new one. I haven't checked the prices to see how much these are, but it's a pretty simple job to do, and it's located right here, which is very convenient. You don't have to take out too many pieces to take out. So, it's located on this side of the throttle body. So if you're having those issues, that's a place to start. Another common problem is this map sensor that is located right behind the alternator. It's very easy to take out. It's not that difficult. It's 2 screws and another plug, same way almost as the throttle body position sensor. And so it's right here, right in between this AC, right between the alternator, and it's right behind it. So it's a very simple thing. If you're experiencing long cranking or maybe some idle issues, that may be another place to also begin and to look into that sensor and see if it's not another problem. Now, another common problem, number 3, is the crank position sensor, which I believe it's located right here, if I'm not mistaken. It's that sensor that is right there, and it is a pain because it's right next to the exhaust. Yeah, so good luck in trying to take out those bolts. Thankfully, I haven't had that issue, but I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna not experience it, because these cars are gonna eventually have some sort of issues, and well, I haven't been able to tackle those jobs yet. But that is another sensor that's located on that side that you may also want to check. Problem number 4 is a returning leaking fuel line. So if you're taking, if it's taking too long to crank over this engine, it might be that it's also not having enough pressure, which is like a leak valve within internally in the fuel pump or something like that. I'm not too educated on it, but I know that sometimes, and I do this too, where if it's taking too long to crank, sometimes I just prime it. I just turn the key over and over, let the gas, build pressure up here in the lines, and eventually, usually after 3 cycles, it turns on super easy. So that's another common problem that these things have, and usually the solution is you got to drop the fuel tank and replace the fuel pump. This Dodge Durango obviously is going to have electrical issues because it's a Chrysler product, and this just has some electrical issues. So I've had an issue where all of my interior lighting, even my radio, all of that was off. Luckily, I could still see my dash, but all of these other things I could not see. It was blind. Every time you open the door, the interior dome lights should turn on, but it did not. In my case, nothing. It was pitch black dark. I had no radio for nothing. Luckily, it was just an amp fuse. It was a 15 fuse that was gone. So it's located on this side. It has a little door panel, just pop off. I don't know why the interior lighting, for some reason, it's super protected. It has this little plastic thing. I don't know. They make it so hard to pull out. I have no idea why that's the reasoning, but, I just broke it off. I broke the little feet on there, so there's no more protector thing. And it's located on that side, so you'll be easy to find it. And then those 2 yellow ones are just for the airbag. But yes, this Dodge Durango has electrical problems. Another issue that I have is that my transmission selector also is faulty. Something's wrong. I can still select the transmission. I can still put it into reverse, drive, neutral, all of that good stuff. The only thing is that the indicator is, well, the problem is that the indicator says that I'm doing all of it, that I'm parked, reverse, neutral, drive, 3, 2, 1. It says that I'm doing it all. And if that is the case, then my transmission is probably twisted in all sorts of ways. But no, it's some issue that's electrical, and I just haven't messed with it because it still drives. So now I got to rely to the old 1, 2, 3, 4 method to get to be in the right spot of the selectors. Another common problem that this Durango has is that it overheats. Now, the problem is that with this, as you're refilling the coolant or adding more coolant, you need to pretty much purge the system. You need to bleed it. You got to bleed it out. It can't have any air bubbles in the system. Luckily, I have not had this issue. I have not had the motor overheat or reach extremely high temperatures, but do be aware that this needs to be bled out. You fill it up as much coolant as you can, leave the cap open, and bleed this out. And as it's bleeding out, well, make sure all the bubbles are out, and then seal it, and seal this in case you don't need to add any more coolant. If so, just add as much coolant as you can, cap it off, and then just let it bleed out of there. And then just keep checking it, let the engine cool off, and just keep rechecking it to make sure it's not going to overheat on itself. And the last final problem that this Dodge Durango has, can you guess it? Yep, say it loud and proud for the people in the back. The transmission.
Oh, these aren't homemade. They were made in a factory. A bomb factory. They're bombs.
Everybody knows that this transmission is terrible. The Dodge just has terrible transmissions. I suffer from this problem where it's stuck in limp mode. It's stuck in third gear. And usually little sensors, the pressure sensor solenoid, that it's bad. So every time I put it into drive, it's stuck in third gear. It won't go to first, second. It'll stay in third, but it won't go to fourth. It's third gear all the way. But thankfully, this being a V8 engine, it has plenty of power to get it up and moving with people in here and everything. I wouldn't trust it on an uphill with weight, but I can trust it in city driving and you know, back roads driving. I haven't had an issue. I bought this truck with 207,000 and it currently has 229,000 miles on the clock right now, and it keeps going up because we keep using this truck. So I haven't had major issues. I've taken it on the highway. I've gone 60, 70 miles in this truck being in limp mode, and I know you shouldn't be doing that, but hey, I just let it ride. I mean, it's still working. It's still in gear. It still works fine. It doesn't like the cold. The transmission and the Dodges in general, I don't know if it's true for all of them, but in my particular case, it does not like cold. When the degrees are 32 degrees or below, you got to warm up the truck and let it idle for a bit, probably 5+ minutes, because the fluid in the transmission is cold. It does not like that. You can put it into drive, reverse, no matter what, it won't move. And if it moves, it's very slowly. But I guarantee you that once it starts moving and you drive slowly, it'll build up heat. It'll start, you know, heating up. And after that, it's fine. It works great for the whole day. No problem. Do you have any other common problems you experience? Have I missed any? Pretty sure I have, because there's a whole lot of unique problems that sometimes Dodge encounters, and also unique owners too. So if you have any, please share it with us here in the comments. And as always, well, please browse the channel, give us a thumbs up, check out our YouTube channel for more videos. And as always, I look forward to seeing you next video.